Hello! A big scare for a couple of big European teams. No, another fun day in the round of 32. But guys, since I will be at the Portugal game tomorrow, or today, I guess, there will be no watch along. I will not be streaming live from the stadium. Infantino would destroy me. He would hydration board me. And tomorrow, the daily recap will probably be a little different. Okay, let's go. So England facing DR Congo in Atlanta, playing for the right to go to the Azteca and take on Mexico. I do not envy that at all. Just 7 minutes in, and DR Congo took the lead through Sipenga. He ghosted in on the opposite flank, and while Jed Spence was tied up with Wissa, he had time to take a touch, then hammer it low at the near post past Pickford. Not many would have predicted that, and so early as well. As for the England handball shout around the 38th minute or so, two players going up for a header. It comes down and touches one of said players, a DR Congo player, as his arm is outstretched. But if penalties are given for that, it's very weak. You know, the unfortunate thing is that we've seen penalties given for that before, and I don't want to live in a world where that is a penalty. I absolutely hate when a mostly inconsequential ball, not even heading towards the goal, touches the hand of the defender, and then a penalty is given. An inconsequential ball that leads to an almost guaranteed goal, it doesn't seem fair. Make it a indirect free kick in the box. But shortly after Wissa hit the post from Wan-Bissaka's squared ball, Wissa went through unmarked during his entire run into the box. The pass did take a bit of a fortunate touch off the defender to get to him, but he still unfortunately smacked it off the post. One of those potentially match-deciding moments, you know? Kane thought he should have had a penalty in the 43rd minute. I thought it should have been a penalty as well when I was watching, but after seeing it again, he was already flying through the air after kicking the ball, probably too far ahead of himself to even get to it, and then going down before the contact was even initiated, dragging his foot to ensure that there was contact with the keeper. Like, when would you ever need to sort of put your feet together when you're trying to get past somebody? You would just step over them. Not sure why that wasn't a yellow card for diving if the referee rightly didn't think it was a penalty, but we move, right? We keep it moving, and England looked decent while they were moving, while they were going forward. If not for some fantastic saves from Lionel Mpassi, they would have been level, especially that save on Bellingham. But my goodness, did their backline look out of whack in this game, I thought. DR Congo had just as much joy attacking this backline as they did attacking Uzbekistan's. They only had one more attempt and an even lower XG against Uzbekistan in the first half of each match. So for England, the attack didn't necessarily need improvement, but the defense did and does, as the midfield wasn't getting back faster than the DR Congo players were getting forward. But in the second half, as expected, it was all change for England as far as their play went, and as of the 60th minute, Tuchel made his common sub, swapping out his wingers, bringing on Gordon and Saka. And look, Gordon had failed to overly impress during the group stage, but he was integral in this second half for England. After tons of pressure, multiple saves from Lionel Mpassi, Harry Kane was able to get away from Axel Tuanzebe far too easily and headed in for 1-0. Nice, strong header there. Assist from Anthony Gordon. Harry Kane on fire. The stars really are out in this World Cup, aren't they? All the big boys are playing. 11 minutes later, in the 86th minute, Kane would receive a pass from Anthony Gordon, take the ball in the direction of the corner before hammering it into the near top corner. Absolute rocket from Kane to make it 2-1 and win England the match. They showed their best in the attack in that second half, and now they will go away to the Azteca to take on Mexico. I think the one thing Tuchel will need to focus on is their defense. A better attacking team, such as Mexico with smart players like Quinones and Jimenez, will have a field day with how that backline defended. I mean, Rice got moved to right back. Mind you, it was because DR Congo removed certain players, certain wingers to play more defensively, but at least their attack is a handful. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so the team described as the best third place team in Senegal versus a Belgium side that didn't get pulses quickening by any means in the group stage, but didn't lose a game either, so there's that. Senegal, for their bit, truly had a difficult group to compete in with Norway and France. I should have just said France first. I was saying it. They started the tournament slowly, perhaps, but not this game. Senegal looked dangerous from the beginning. Certainly the more dangerous team, as Belgium kind of labored to get anything going in the attack in that first half, whereas Senegal were happy to attack in transition and take whatever they could. Take on defenders, take opportunities. Senegal should have taken an opportunity. They should have scored in the 13th minute when Courtois couldn't decide if he wanted to jump out at the ball or let it run, pawing it straight into the path of Ismaila Sarr, and he hit the post. Super unlucky and awkward from both Courtois and Sarr. But it was absolutely a warning shot from Senegal. And that warning shot from Sarr eventually delivered on the threat, because from across, his header bounced off the post, and Habib Diarra, just had to side-foot it past a stranded Courtois for 1-0 Senegal, a goal that nobody would have been that surprised by. Ismaila Sarr and his transition into being a striker for Senegal when he was typically known as a wide man has been so effortless, so natural. Those are not words you could use for the Belgium attack in the early exchanges of this match, and it was interesting to see Rudy Garcia put Jeremy Doku mostly on the right in this game. That is until Garcia took both De Bruyne and Doku off by the 56th minute. He was the only guy, Doku that is, that seemed capable of creating chances. All of the passing from central areas didn't really work, and so Rudy took off their wide man that could go at defenders and create something from nothing, right? I didn't get it, but he would later be justified. But first, Diarra should have had a second in the 51st minute. They would go to rue that. Mane cutting it back to Diarra, and his mishit went wide. Really good chance to put the game a little more out of reach, and they did. Minutes later, it was the most route one goal. Just a brilliant pass straight down the middle, and Ismaila Sarr took it down beautifully on his chest. Like, honestly, you should watch this goal. Very technically impressive. Ball coming over his shoulder, and he controls it with his chest, then slaps it past Courtois to make it 2-0 Senegal. And respect to the ball from Moussa Niakite. Perfectly placed for Sarr to run onto. Sarr with his 4th goal of the tournament. In the final 10 minutes, Belgium finally began coming alive. More dangerous balls into the box, strikes flying just over the bar until the 84th minute when a squared ball from Meunier was just touched brilliantly by Lukaku to make it 2-1. Great touch from Big Rom to just deflect that past the keeper, who was not Edouard Mendy, by the way, it was João. Then minutes later, Trossard with a nice curling cross at the back post. Tielemans rose for it, and João, the keeper, made a mess of his challenge for the ball. It went in 2-2. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Belgium are alive. Belgium back to life after looking dead in the water for so long. But the mental collapse from Senegal, they will be kicking themselves for not seeing that match through. But some of the changes for Belgium did make an impact, like I was alluding to. Luka Bacchio, for example, was causing issues. Meunier assisted for the first goal. Moreira brought life to the midfield and the wing as well. So, hey, Rudy Garcia, good job. Extra time. The collapse continued for Senegal in a sense. Right before the shootout, from a seemingly innocuous play, there was a coming together. It was ruled that my boy Lamine Camara had fouled Yuri Tielemans when they were both reaching for the ball. Kamara got none of the ball and a decent amount of Tielemans' boot. Look, you hate to see it. It's cruel with the timing of the penalty being given away right before the shootout, but it was ultimately the right call, I think. I believe, at least. Tielemans stepped up, hits a brave penalty straight into the top corner side netting. 3-2 Belgium. They advance to play the winner of the next game. What a comeback. Now, of the 3 matches yesterday, this one was probably the lowest when it comes to entertainment factor. Bosnia do what they can, which is try to make the match horrible for their opposition and get goals from set pieces. The USA really tried to play, and they did in fact play some nice football in this game once again. The 5 at the back roadblock from Bosnia worked relatively well, but the USA have the quality to get through and around that. Bosnia's chances were few and far between in that first half. I mean, one of their best attempts of the first half, their only attempt really, was directly from a corner kick in the 10th minute. And by that I mean, the guy nearly scored an Olympico, but Fries clawed it off of the line. That was Bosnia's only attempt in the first half, I believe. You could see from the beginning of this match that Folarin Balogun was still in the fantastic form he's carried throughout the World Cup. He scored a nice goal on his left, hit the LeBron celebration, but he was offside. What a left foot he has for a naturally right-footed player, though. Remember that goal he scored against Paraguay? Whew. Thankfully, later he got one, and it stuck. He did the celebration again. Well-deserved goal for him. He's just been so impressive. He offers so much as a striker that I'm curious to see if he will be on the move this summer. Well, the soonest he could return in this tournament is the quarterfinals. I can't see FIFA extending the ban further than 1 match, but still, when you look at the prices for strikers these days, he should be a tantalizing option for clubs. Also, he should have had a second in stoppage time of the first half, bouncing it off of the bar, and then in the second half, as I kind of already mentioned, the red card. It's unfortunate, but it's a red card. The aggravating thing is that Messi should have got a red card for it as well, but he didn't. But just because one referee got it wrong doesn't mean it shouldn't be called a red from then on, you know? I have seen so many people talk about, he didn't mean to, there was no intent, etc. Guys, nowhere in the rule book does the word intent show up. That is a very subjective thing that, you know, the ref isn't a mind reader that can judge if a player meant to do something or not, or if they're telling the truth about it. They will get that wrong. So that's why intent isn't used in the rule book. However, endangering your opponent's safety is mentioned in the rule book. And it reads, a tackle or challenge that endangers the safety of an opponent or uses excessive force or brutality must be sanctioned as serious foul play. And for serious foul play, you get a red. And raking your studs down the calf of an opponent and crunching their ankle is serious foul play. It is endangering your opponent's safety. So there it is. No mention of intent. You can look up IFAB rules 12.3 disciplinary action and see for yourself. If you challenge and endanger the safety of an opponent, it's a red. This whole intent thing that commentators say is always so misguided, and it drives me crazy because it leads everyone down the wrong path and continues the misinformation of he didn't mean to. I mean, call it out when it isn't enforced. Instead, like with Messi, push for consistency instead of bringing up the whole he didn't mean to of it all, which isn't a deciding factor. Looked like Messi didn't mean to as well by that logic, you know? So should he not have had a red? No, he should have. But thankfully in the USA's case, this didn't end up affecting the match. It will affect the next one, but not this one, as shortly after Malik Tillman converted a free kick beautifully. And what I liked about the USA's approach is that they didn't sit back and just hoof the ball down the pitch every time they got it. They still tried to go forward and score goals, obviously, as we saw here, right? But even after that, they continued. So the USA win 2-0 against Bosnia Herzegovina, and they will play Belgium in the round of 16. That should be a very good matchup. A shame Balogun won't be there, though. Okay, guys, the days just don't stop coming, eh? Reminder, no stream for the Portugal game, and there will be some kind of daily recap on Friday, perhaps a little unusual. Head to the 90th minute to get your preview for the day. That is linked below. My name is Adrian, and I'll see you soon. Take care.